Welcome back to Salem. There's Coach Jim Grobe addressing his team the last time. He'll get an opportunity to talk to them in this setting until next week, really. Riley Skinner gathers his teammates around, and we're ready to go for ACC football. For his 23rd year roaming the sidelines, let's turn things over to Mike Hogwood.
Excited about another season. Want to talk about Mike's matchups today, what I think is going to be a key. And I think for Wake Forest on the offensive line, Chris DeGear has been a guard in his career. He's moved to left tackle. That means he's got to protect Riley Skinner's blind side. He has got to be the leader up front for the running game, which they've got to establish. And it's a very good defensive front, particularly at defensive end for Stanford. It's going to be a key matchup. We're ready to go. Hope you are on Raycom Sports. It's Wake Forest and Stanford from BB&T Field. The kickoff on the way in just a moment.
You're watching the ACC Game of the Week on Raycom Sports. Go Eagles!
I wonder if they can travel with us every week. Wake Forest Demon Deacon cheerleaders. Wake has won the toss, deferred their option to the second half. It'll be the Stanford Cardinal that will receive the ball, and when you see the Stanford Cardinal in kickoff return formation, watch out for Chris Owusu, who took one to the house last week in Pullman, Washington. There he is, Chris Owusu. He's a sophomore from Westlake Village, California. 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Washington State. Kicker, of course, is Clint Bean. Came over from playing soccer at Wake Forest. This would be his 5th kickoff of the year. It's a sport you don't want to get too good at. Or you do want to get good at. The up man gets him, and he'll stay away from Owusu. And that is going to be Josh Catron, who is a backup fullback who carries it out 16 yards. Let's take a look at the Stanford starting lineup. Our CPI security starting lineups for the offense for Stanford. It'll be Toby Gerhart, who is one of the top running backs of all time. Owen Maricic is the fullback in play. And then, of course, you've got 2 redshirt freshmen in Martin and DeCastro, who anchored the offensive line to pave the way for Gerhart at 1st and 10 from his own 36-yard line. Andrew Luck, under center, redshirt freshman. 1st and 6 years to start at Stanford. Here's the pass, it is complete. Owusu takes it. He's brought out at the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 5. Andrew Luck represents quite a future for the Stanford Cardinal. Jim Hardbough, the coach, one of the first things he did was pursue this young man who was the 5th highest-rated quarterback prospect in the land out of Houston, Texas. He's got great size, 6'4", 235. He completed 11 of 23, overthrew some balls last week, and his father, Oliver Luck, from West Virginia University, and of course the Houston Oilers in the NFL. Luck with time, throws across the middle, complete. Ryan Whaler got 4 balls a week ago, picks it up 7 yards, and it's another 1st down. Let's take a look at the Wake Forest defensive front 4. It is Tristan Doherty, Boo Robinson, John Russell, and Kyle Wilbur, who had a big week last week. The linebackers all new starters from a year ago, Woodleaf, Haynes, and Jones. G is the only one with any experience in the Wake Forest secondary. CPI security starting lineups. 1st and 10. Stanford out at their own 48-yard line. Pass to the flats, complete. And it's going to be to Maricic, the fullback, into Wake Forest territory at the 40-yard line. We've gone 4 plays in this game, Doc, and haven't seen Toby Gerhart yet.
No, you haven't. Wheeler had a good rush for Wake Forest. I like exactly what they're doing here. Look, those outside, you want high percentage, good pursuit by the Demon Deacons, excellent execution on the part of the Cardinal.
Quick moving drive. They want to intimidate Wake Forest from an offensive standpoint, tackle to tackle.
Yeah, the throwing barrel kind of throwing me off a little bit. I like it because it works.
Gerhart's lined up in the eye. Owusu in motion. Gerhart gets the call. Bounces inside of the heart of the Wake Forest defense and gets stopped right there. Boo Robinson at the bottom of the pile along with Hunter Haynes and that man Tristan Doherty.
Taken down by a host of Wake Forest defenders led by number 55, Tristan Doherty, along with number 96,
Boo Robinson. Toby Gerhart.
Made a one on the play, second and 39-yard line.
From Norco, California. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. Stanford's had a nice group. Vardell once. Blair Nelson 3 times in the history at Stanford. Last year, he Gerhart collected 1,136 yards. Second down and 9. Stanford first time to the ball. Flag on the play. Pass is complete to Owusu, who has the sideline. He's headed for the end zone. He's got a touchdown, but we got a flag back at the 38-yard line of Wake Forest. A 39-yard touchdown hookup from Andrew Luck to Chris Owusu, but it's coming back.
Yeah. Credit Kyle Wilbur, 97 for the Demon Deacons. This is the second time that we've watched him.
Holding the preliminary call.
There you see 73.
Holding, number 52 on the offense. 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. It remains second down.
It's Tom McCreesh, ACC crew working today's game.
Take a look at it. There you see 73 in white. Jonathan Martin, this is a bull rush. So Wilbur, who's 230 pounds, had great leverage, got under the pads. It's really the second holding call he's forced. The first one didn't get called.
Second down in a bundle, 19. The ball backed up all the way a yard shy of midfield in Wake Forest territory. Marisa in motion. The screen out to the wing, that's Baldwin. And Baldwin gets wrestled down by Kyle Quarles, but not before he made 17 of those 19 yards back.
Whenever you throw out the space, you need help from your friend. Now number 8 in white gets the key block inside, and 48. Two guys coming in there. So Marisa, see that nice block there at the bottom of the screen. That's what makes it go. Short pass, big run.
Third down play, and it's going to be Gerhart for the first down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Getting a gain of 3 and a nice looking drive for Stanford to open up the game. They surprised Wake Forest by going to the air a little bit early on.
Surprised me. I thought they'd go and try to bully Wake Forest. They've been tactical in that. David Shaw, offensive coordinator, really good placement. That kid, young man there, you see, not a kid any longer, was great in the National Football League as well.
You see, this is going to be the 7th play coming on this drive. To the 29-yard line, the Luck to throw again, and his tight end, Dre, drops it. Fifth-year senior out of Paramus, New Jersey, started to run before it secured the football.
You won't see that a lot. That position, high IQ spot. Guy has great hands and just got one away from him.
But you can guess where Doc played his football. With the Skins and the Bruins. Second down and 10 coming up. All at the Wake Forest 29-yard line. Personnel switches that puts Gerhart in as the I-back. Catron is the fullback. He'll follow his block into the left tackle side. It goes up to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line and mark him down after a 3-yard gain. Will Wright, backing up Tristan Doherty at defensive end, makes the tackle on Gerhart. Woodleaf also in on the stop.
Wake has been stout against the run, but Stanford's had people open in the short to intermediate passing game.
Jeremy Stewart is in the backfield. Gerhart is off the field. Third down in a passing situation. 3rd and 7 here. Stanford 5 of 13 on third down a week ago. Luck with time, has a man down there. That's Wayman. He's got it. Touchdown, Stanford.
Big throw. Big time throw.
Big time catch by Ryan Whalen, the junior out of Alamo, Texas.
Whalen runs a great route because he keeps the stem vertical. Watch the throw. Right side. Drops it right over the pocket. If you had a pencil in your pocket, he puts it right in the pocket. That's a great throw, great catch.
That's his second touchdown pass of the season. The point after kick by Whitaker. His 5th of the season. Andrew Luck finds pay dirt 26 yards downfield to Ryan Whalen. Stanford up by a score. And there's Ryan Whalen, who is one of 4 different receivers who caught balls from Andrew Luck on that scoring drive. As a matter of fact, 9 plays. Luck was 5 of 6, 67 yards. Whalen, the only repeat target. Going in from 26 yards out. Luck 5 of 6 for 67 yards. Whalen catching his 2nd career touchdown pass, and now the Stanford Cardinal up 7-0. Back to receive Alex Fry, Chris Gibbons.
And the one pass he threw was dropped by Jim Grobe. It was a perfectly thrown ball.
Yes, it was. Andrew Luck on the phone. This is fine. But Givens, this is Givens right at the half line, and he comes right out to the 32-yard line. His return of 30 yards by Chris Givens, and let's take a look at the CPI security starting lineup for the offense for Wake Forest. Backs and receivers. Kevin Harris leads a close race there. Look for Marshall Williams. Parker's the tight end up front. Chris DeGear, the key guy at left tackle with Looney, Neenan, Griffin, and Birdsong. Veteran group, and DeGear coming back after taking a year off to straighten out academics. And here's Riley Skinner. Fifth-year senior out of Jacksonville, Florida, 36 touchdown passes. He's 7 passes away from having the all-time completion mark at Wake Forest. And that could have been wrong, but that's going to be to Givens. He has to pursue it because it's behind the line of scrimmage. And it's a loss back to the 24-yard line. Let's take a look at the Wake Forest, or the Stanford defense. Kaiser had a great week against Washington State. Loring, an outstanding defensive end. And the linebacker crew, Snyder, the leading tackle from a year ago, and LaJoy and Powers. And where the weakness may be is in the secondary. Sherman and Howell are converted offensive backs. McNally is a good one. And Gatewood is at the other corner. The loss of 7 on the play now for Wake Forest on their first play from scrimmage. And we've got a short timeout here. The 10:25 mark. Little nerves and anxieties survive the anxiety of opening a game against an opponent you know very little about.
But they also, you want to get a good start, and they're disappointed the loss to Baylor. Baylor's a good football team. And you need a good play. It's a confidence builder. You want to just get into a rhythm if you're Riley Skinner. This is a pass. You got to be able to complete this. The ball was right on the mark.
Yes.
Skinner right out there to the flats. The receiver Givens on that play just lost sight of it. The pass was behind the line of scrimmage. You can see the Stanford coach saying pursue the ball, and they're going to call it an incompleted pass. That's play under review. It's just come down from the review booth. Jim Hardbough rather, head coach of the Stanford Cardinal and former player at Michigan. A lot of coaching in his family. His father, Jack, coached 41 years, including 14 in Western Kentucky. His brother, John, is
a terrific job with the Ravens. Jim, he's done a great job at Stanford. The key is in recruiting the athletes that can get in and stay in, and then they improve. He's improving people. So his staff, you get guys who come in, but then they've got to improve. They've got to get better. He's done that.
Now let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield. Let's look at Jim Hardbough.
After further review, it has determined that it was a forward pass. It was incomplete. It will be third down. Please let the clock say 10:43. 10:43.
Too many turnovers in the Jim Grobe era. Defensive shield. They are plus 68. 225 takeaways. Lost 157. They lost 4 turnovers last week. 3 interceptions by Riley Skinner and a fumble. Very unusual for a Jim Grobe team.
I think that's what really hurt them the most. You get a senior and quarterback, you got experience here at home. They've made such a commitment to football here at Wake Forest, and I think it kind of let the air out of themselves. But you can fill it back up, fill that balloon back up, but you got to make plays.
That caught a break there, but they got called for an incompleted forward pass. It makes that 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 16. So they're going to push the ball to the left hash mark where the play actually started. Stanford up 7-0 on a 26-yard connection for Andrew Luck to Ryan Whalen. Wake with their first offensive possession. Riley Skinner out of the gun. Harris gets the handoff. And Harris goes straight ahead to the 39-yard line. Corey Gatewood on the tackle. It's going to be a gain of 7. Talking with the Wake coaches yesterday, they felt pretty happy with the way that they ran the ball last week against Baylor.
Yeah, but they only get 49 yards between with their backs. They've got 116 games of experience with this offensive line. You got to break the 100 mark. Jeff Griffin there, right guard, pretty well with the lead. They've got to get more production out of the running game.
Bohannon is in the backfield. Pass Pass Skinner to the flats. It is complete to Devon Brown. Brown into the secondary and is brought down in Stanford territory at the 42-yard line after a gain of 18. Clinton Snyder on the tackle for Stanford.
He's 5'9", 185 pounds. I want you to watch how he finishes. Look at the scheme. Freeze the backers. Great throw. Everybody's in chase mode. Wide open. Watch the finish.
Let's send it down to the sidelines here after this play. Coming up on 1st and 10. Mike has an interesting story about how Stanford prepared for this football game. Coming east, it's not easy. And we got a little bit of movement. And it looks like Wake.
Ball start. Number 80 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Let's send it down to the sidelines, Mike. It was a very interesting week of preparation for Stanford as far as timing is concerned.
You're right, Steve. You got to understand that this game started at 9 o'clock Stanford time. So all week long, the players got up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. They practiced at 9 to kind of get used to this time. And when they flew here on Thursday, nobody was allowed to sleep on the plane. And that's a 5-hour ride.
He wanted his players to get off the plane and go directly to bed once they got out of the airport. Here comes Harris again. Harris with another big carry, wipes out the penalty. And also gets close to a first down. Richard Sherman on the tackle, but Harris picks up 13 yards.
Once you see 64 White, big bulldozer, right in here in this area, we're going to show you something, folks. Make you real proud to see how that offensive line. Jeff Griffin, now watch it, right inside here. Gets in there, gets a hold, back knows what to do, pads are square, you move the chains.
2nd down and short, about 2. Handoff comes to Gibbons. He gets that 2 and gets into the secondary. Still on his feet inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. Cheeking away, makes the stop. Amateur makes the stop. It's a 17-yard gain. Looked like it was going to stop after 2.
If you're going to have experience, then show it. If not, I want to have redshirt freshmen. That time you saw Joe Looney. This is a start coming in there, see the gap, get in the lane, gets it done. If you're going to have experience, play like it.
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line of Stanford. And off inside. That's going to be Rainford. No, Bohannon, the 2 freshmen. And Joy and Snyder in on the tackle after a 2-yard gain. Let's take a look at Wake Forest in the red zone. 45 possessions last season, and they only scored on 35 of them. So they're a team that gets into the end zone, but they get in there outside of the red zone. Skinner to throw. Rush is on. Pass to the flats, complete. That's Gibbons. Knocked out of bounds. Hit there by Will Powers, a 5th-year senior. Gain of 8. Play that was virtually going nowhere with good pass rush for Stanford.
Hey, Udofia, he was a beast on that play. When a guy makes up his mind he's not going to be dominated, you get great results. You'll see it 54 on your screen. That time he would not be denied. It's a great rush.
Harris and Bohannon in the eye behind Riley Skinner. Handoff goes to Harris, and they're waiting for him. Not much of a game, maybe pushed ahead to between the 7 and the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Massafilio that time his tag team partner to ACOM, Udofia, those 2 tackles. If you're going to be a good football team, your 2 tackles have to take it personal. They got to give up. They can't be blown out. They got to keep pad placement, good leverage, and be downright honorable.
8th play of the drive coming up here on 2nd and goal. Pitch to Harris. Watch the corner. Has that and very little more to the 5. Gain of maybe a yard. If that, will bring up 3rd down and goal. Again, red zone futility.
Well, Massafilio again. Now watch this on this side of the screen, folks. Now watch it. See, that's the stalemate. Who wants it? Well, 90 wins because he gets penetration. 90-98, those 2 kids that time control the line of scrimmage for Stanford. They pushed Wake back.
3rd down and goal for the Demon Deacons on their first drive of the football, down 7-0. Reverse. Here comes Brown looking for an opening. Gets by Lord. Here he gets a grab on him and gets him out of bounds. at the 4, a gain of only 1. Eric Loring with a great stop. He passes him, he's in the end zone.
Boy, Coach. Now this is, you're going to see so many things here. Movement here. Now watch it, if we get a chance to freeze. See that area there? Right there, it looks great. Now let me show you what Pursuit does. Pursuit breaks it up. You can draw it up on the board, but that time the Cardinal got to the point of attack.
Shane Popham is on for the field goal here. This is going to be a 20-yard attempt, his first of the season. Kick is up and it is good. So Wake Forest gets on the board. It's not 7, but it is 3. A field goal from Shane Popham jacking a drive. We'll be back after this word from your local station. That's some dirty rice.
I love you doing that, boy.
Hey, I'll go through the whole menu for you if you want.
Taste.
Stanford leading 7-3. Shane Popham's 20-yard field goal puts Wake Forest on the board after they drove from their own 20, actually 30-yard line, 32-yard line. Get the score. They moved right down the field from 30 to 30 and then got into the red zone, and Stanford shut down.
Well, they competed. Mike Hardbough talked about that. Flying in that tough and run. They responded.
This is a Wusu. Brought one back a week ago. He will not do so this time, as he is flattened there at the 27-yard line, a 15-yard touchdown, or 15-yard run. Let's take a look at Stanford's first drive.
Well, it was efficient. It was effective. Only 1 incompletion. 9 plays, 64 yards. Consumed clock. This 26-yard throw and catch to Whalen out of luck shows you exactly what you want. Chew up the clock, be efficient, get first down.
Jim Harbaugh's team said left some yardage on the field at Washington State a week ago. Owusu in motion for Andrew Luck. Going downfield, wants Whalen again. Is it picked off? No. Our 1st and 10 line. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by CPI Security. See how CPI can protect your home and family at CPIsecurity.com. There it is out there at the 38-yard line. That's where Stanford has to get another first down here. We're looking at 2nd down and 10. See what the penalty flag is.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield. 5 yards in the previous spot. And then 2nd down.
I want you to show with the animation. Watch how the line goes. Now it's going to reverse and then come back downhill. Both teams are very deceptive. This play is well executed, but if you have a penalty at the beginning, the outside, you don't get to share in the results.
Well, they've lost 35 yards in pass yardage on penalties alone. One a hold that stopped the touchdown, and then the other here on this potential 9-yard gain turns out to be a 5-yard loss, and it's up 2nd and 15 at 23.
It frustrates coaches, believe me.
Yes, it does. Loses his helmet on the tackle. He's close to picking up about 5 yards.
I want you to watch the middle of this. There's Big Boo, and there's also inside Big Phillips. So Phillips man on man, mano y mano, and we're seeing movement on both sides of the ball. What we have right now is a lot of heavily competition going on right now.
We got a player down for Wake Forest, and it might be Michael Lockett, who lost his helmet in that exchange. 5th-year senior out of Tyrone, Georgia. He's being looked at down there on the field as he took the hit at the point of attack. While we wait for that, Champion presents How You Play. Wake Forest football begins with a roar of 165 horsepower. You know, since 2002, Randy Burnett has custom built the motorcycle that leads the Demon Deacons out onto the field. It's a tradition that never fails to bring Wake fans to their feet. We saw it here today. And that's our Champion feature, celebrating the history and traditions of the ACC. Champion It's how you play. There's the Deacon motorcycle. Take that out for a cruise.
I can see you on home.
I can't even reach. I couldn't even reach the field. Let's get out on the field. Let's talk a little bit about Wake's defense and Mike Hogwood.
You know, on that first series, while they're checking over the injured player, Wake Forest is starting 7 new players on defense this year. And one of the things that happened last week against Baylor, I think happened in that first series. You get so pumped up. The adrenaline's going. You want to do well so bad that sometimes you jump around making a play, trying to make a play, and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Brad Lambert spent a lot of time when they were off the field telling them to settle down, play the way they did this past week in practice. And so far in this series, they've been doing that.
Making noise at BB&T Field on 3rd and 10. Andrew Luck and the Stanford offense. Luck has time, has a man open, that's Whalen, and that's right at the marker. Pass is ruled complete. Covering on the play, Kenny and Coro. And it looks like it's going to be a game of 10. Move the chains. Whalen, Stanford stays alive.
I just refer to that as a smart route. How often have we seen kids come a yard short? It's your responsibility as the guy running the route to get to the sticks.
Well, that's how he got there. Haynes, Woodleaf, and Malco are in the game now as the linebacker. 1st and 10 now for Stanford. Research in motion. To throw. Pass complete. Whalen. Great open field tackle by Brandon G. You know, Mike Hogwood talked about 7 new starters and a lot of lost talent. Wake Forest lost to guys who were playing Sunday, like that guy, Alfonso Smith.
Playmaker.
ACC record 21 interceptions. Or how about Aaron Curry, 4th overall pick of the draft by Seattle and the Butkus Award winner.
Werewolves.
And how about DJ Bolden offensively? He led the ACC in receptions.
Freak.
2nd down and 5. It's a lot of lost talent. But they got some more to replace it. Here's Gerhart on a short pitch. Hit in the backfield, didn't get it. Now we're going to watch him go downfield. He carries players down, breaks 4 tackles, and gets to the Wake 30-yard line. A 27-yard gain, biggest of the day for Toby Gerhart.
Woo! I want you to see now. You're going to watch it, a wild renegade on this one. I referred to John Riggins, my old teammate. Makes a guy miss. Number 1, he shows his athleticism. Look at the blocks. 81 on the right. Getting a good block. Helmets flying. You talk about slobber knocking football, folks. This is it. The cut, the vertical push, the speed, pads are square. This is football.
You got slobber knocker in the first quarter. Amazing. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line of Wake. Luck downfield, pass incomplete. Intended for Jamal Rashad Patterson. That brings up 2nd down and 10. Here's the current drive right now. 6 plays, 72 yards. The 27-yard run by Gerhart, the big play in this drive right now.
Well, I don't think that the Cardinal was suffering from time change.
No, I don't think so.
Whatever they did with this, as Mike Hogwood illustrated, so far it's worked.
I saw one of the video coaches eating barbecue. They seem to be quite at home here. Was action about the coleslaw there. Gerhart at the line of scrimmage. Hit. G is there to lead it.
Good teams, game tackle.
Haynes on the tackle as well.
Hunter Hayes again. You fill those shoes of Curry. You see, in a good football play, you're praising guys all, and you're upset all at the same time because guys are making plays. They're getting off blocks. You're going to be blocked. The question is for how long. That time, Wake Forest said not long at all.
3rd down coming again. Stanford has converted a number of these 3rd and longs into firsts. Converted 1 into a touchdown.
Here's Kyle Wilbur, if you're Demon Deacon.
Watch him on the left side. Low snap. Luck recovers. Pass is picked off.
Oh my goodness, what a play.
You got a little trouble in the coordination of the machine. What does it throw off everything?
Well, you need when in doubt, call on a playmaker. That's what the difference. Timing was thrown off. Ball is late. Kenny Okoro, he jumps on it, and he catches it shows you the hands. Good athletic play, ill-advised. When in doubt, hold on to it, or throw it to the tuba. Throw it to the guy with the tuba. You can't give up potential red zone possession. You cannot do it.
It all started with a low snap, and Luck tried to make something out of it, but the call was there, as Doc so eloquently said. 1st and 10 from the 26. That's an outside. This is going to be Josh Adams, junior carry North Carolina. Brings it upfield about 5 yards to bring up 2nd down. Billy Mitchell, the assistant head coach, and he runs the running back situation. He showed us Kevin Harris first. We're going to see Josh Adams now, and we may see Brendan Prendergrass before the first half is done. And then they'll choose from there who gets to be the featured back.
Well, whomever gets in better buckle up, because they're hitting. I mean, there's some violent contact on the field.
2nd down and 5. 7-3 Stanford. Wake with the ball. In motion, here comes Gibbons, turns to Cole, gets a good block, and is flattened at the 43-yard line. Josh Adams threw a big block on the corner for him. It's a gain of 12.
Defensively, these teams, you got to focus on what's going on. Good blocking, point of attack. Both guys at the end, even Devon Brown tried to hang in there. Watch this. So you follow the trail technique. Does he have it? Yeah, he does. But see, you got to check because you don't really know. Good execution.
1st and 10. Wake Forest back to throw. Here's Skinner. 5-step drop. And he's headed for the tuba.
Find the guy with the tuba.
Didn't like what he saw. Either somebody broke off a little too early. He said, this is disaster. I'm not going to do what we did last week.
No, the guy with the tuba is so big. Hopefully, you know, when you're being pressured, you can see it. And that big circle in the middle, you just want to drop it down. Keeps you out of trouble.
Keep it quiet.
Keep it quiet.
2nd down now and 10. Wake showing a lot of different offensive aspects. Last week they opened up in the wing key. Right now they're in the eye. They showed the end around. They've done a reverse already. Pass complete to Gibbons. He's at midfield.
Pass from Riley Skinner is complete to Chris
7
Gibbons.
on the play. Corey Gatewood in on the tackle. He's a junior out of Randolph, Massachusetts.
It's a good execution, but why did he slip? Why did he go down? You got to get the first down. I mean, you got to. So you're judged by what you do after you catch the football. Gibbons is a good receiver, but you got to catch that thing, turn up, and try to get a first down.
Wake Forest 1 out of 2 on 3rd down. They're facing 3rd and 3, down 4. 7-3 to Stanford. Gibbons in motion. Handoff goes to Adams. Adams is wrestled back, and who's got him? Clinton Snyder, 5th-year senior from San Diego.
Handoff goes to number 27, Josh Adams.
Snyder, a great leader, had 7.5 tackles against Washington State a week ago. That's the end of the first quarter of play. The flyover by the Air Force. And the teams are taking care of the rest. Brian Whalen with a score. Shane Popham with a field goal. And it's 7-3 Stanford through 1 in Winston-Salem. You know, this is a very violent setting. About 3/4 of a mile away. A lot of tranquility and studying going on just outside the Wake Chapel at Wake Forest University. 4th down coming up, though, for the Demon Deacon football team. And Shane Popham is back to punt. Doug Baldwin is there to get it. Trying to plant it inside the 10. And it will roll into the end zone. And Wake will not get it to fall inside the 5. A 49-yard punt, but it's going to net out to the 20-yard line. So Shane Popham does his job. The Wake Forest defense now taking the field to do theirs. Stanford up 7-3. Stanford leading Wake Forest in first ever football meeting between the two. 7-3 in the first quarter stats, led by Stanford, 124 to 95. Time of possession about even. But talk a little bit about the spread of plays in this first quarter so far. There's Gerhart making people miss, and then gets up over the 20 to the 22-yard line. It's interesting. We thought Stanford power running attack, but as far as the play mix here, Stanford's gone to the air a little bit more than we thought.
Yeah, they really have. You know, and because you got to give both teams a lot of credit. That time, middle linebacker Matt Woodley, he forced that play to bounce.
Nice little play action to get Owusu out on the wing, and he gets the first down with about 10 yards. Jonathan Jones comes up to make the tackle. Chris Owusu, Westlake Village, California, is a sophomore. North Carolina and Connecticut, they're scoreless. Army leading Duke. Army beat Eastern Michigan a week ago. Penn State leading Syracuse.
You know, Stanford was in a rhythm. They really had it going on. And now you see the Southern lose a bit of that. This is a following the turnover, didn't cause some points, but they need a big play.
First and 10 at the 31. Left to the flats, complete. It's Owusu being pursued on the corner, has the first down. Josh Bush, sophomore from Lexington, North Carolina, nearby. Bringing him down. It's a gain of about 11, so this is a way to build momentum.
It's impressive, though. Owusu is not only dynamic in special teams and as a return man, but I like a guy who makes the catch, secures the ball, squares his shoulders, makes a guy miss, and is able to get you 10, 11 yards on a simple out. That's what you need, playmakers.
Jim Hardbough, he likes what he sees from his team. He feels that this team can make some great steps forward. They've had 7 straight losing seasons at Stanford. It's never happened before. And they won only 1 road game last year. Trying to win their second today. Here comes Gerhart. He's near midfield. Big yardage there. Picks up about 8 yards. And Chase Beeler, his center, really cleared a path for him.
I tell you what, Chase may have erred on that last snap that resulted in an interception. But this time, watch the big boys up front. See, this man-on-man, good collisions and even better collisions inside. Stand on the block, finish in the block. That's how you move the football.
Stanford had to make some late adjustments as far as players are concerned. They lost one of their offensive linemen, Matt Cooper, an injury last week, about 5 or 6 weeks. Luck hands off. Stewart held up, and he's going to be shot at the first down. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.
You got to block John Russell. That time it was a perfect no-hitter, and John comes through free, and he's too big and strong. Of course, he has some help from his friends.
Stanford 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversions, 3rd and short. Stewart again gets the call, and he might have it up. No, they're going to mark him short.
Russell once again, the first guy, man in black, was there.
John Russell, we've had a great time with him yesterday, Doc. Had an opportunity to talk with him. This young man has a high motor.
Yeah, but he comes right down. Sometimes he may have had a slant call. If it is, and Coach Lambert, great call, because he called a slant right into the run. Lou Robinson, Wilbur, those big fellas up front for Wake Forest, getting it done.
Game of guts now, Doc. Hunter's nowhere to be seen. 4th and inches. And Stanford's going for it.
Where their defense is playing, go for it.
Toby Gerhart, back deep. Luck looks to the sidelines. Stanford will call timeout. Timeout on the field. 11:39 left to go in this first half. The Stanford Cardinal by 4. One of the many legendary figures in Stanford history. There he is, Heisman Trophy winner Jim Plunkett. 1970, long line of great Stanford quarterbacks. 4th down coming in inches for the Cardinal. Sitting in Wake Forest territory at the 48th. Gerhart, first down. Issue decided. Quarles in on the tackle. Along with Alex Fry. It's a 4-yard gain. Keep the chains moving for Stanford.
Strong run. And what they did was they ran right here in the circle of where Boone Robinson, and watch that. They go right in the gut. There's Robinson who got turned around. This is man on man, a straight dive, took the block, body cushion. You see 73 in there. Jonathan Martin finishing it off. Boone Robinson pounding the ground.
Luck has time in the flats to throw to Whalen. It is complete. And he's driven out of bounds at the 37-yard line. That's the 5th catch for Whalen. It moves the chains downfield. It'll be a gain of about 8 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 2.
Get a simple out for 8. They had another one for 11. That's what you like. Mixing things up.
And then all of a sudden, Gerhart hits you for 27.
Yeah, and I'd keep my eyes on Whalen going deep.
Stewart in the ballgame now for Gerhart. So Owusu was split wide to the top. Second down and 2. Here's White to throw. That's a man out there. Complete Owusu for the first down. And Brandon G comes up with the tackle. It's going to be a gain of 17.
Number 17, Brandon G.
As good as G is, you know the kind of speed you're dealing with Owusu. Watch the offensive line play. We just got a flat give up in the middle. Boone Robinson's going to be a big-time player in this league. You have got to have your motor cranked up 24/7. You can't be a spectator in the middle of the field.
First and 10 in the red zone now at the 19-yard line of Wake Forest. Stanford up 7-3 and looking for more. Hand off Stewart. Stewart runs back left guard and gets ahead a little bit to the 17-yard line and pick up a 2.
Stop made by number 26, Jonathan Jones. Second and 8.
Jonathan Jones who came up for the tackle. This is the 11th play of this drive that started at the Stanford 20-yard line.
I like Jonathan Jones, too. This kid played running back. And he has made a conversion. He's played wide receiver. Now he's playing linebacker for Wake.
Second down and 8. Whalen in motion. He's already scored today. Love looks back to Whalen across the middle. Another touchdown for Ryan Whalen and the Stanford Cardinal.
Is complete for Ryan Whalen. Touchdown Stanford.
That's stealing in broad daylight.
17-yard pass hook up, the second of the day between Andrew Luck and Ryan Whalen.
It all starts with protection. Can you see the field? Luck does not look like a redshirt freshman. Look off. The look off took your safety out. At that time, Quarles got beat inside. And Ryan Whalen is very comfortable in the red zone.
Whitaker, the transfer from Notre Dame, splits the uprights and completes the play. Whalen with his second touchdown. And the Stanford Cardinal leading Wake 14-3. We'll be back after this word from your local station. Ryan Whalen with his second touchdown reception of the day. Makes his third of the season. 11 plays in that drive, 80 yards. Andrew Luck was 4 of 4 and 53 yards, including 17 for Whalen for his second score of the afternoon. Chris Givens has to deal with the sunshine coming back in his face. Nate Whitaker getting ready to kick off now as the Stanford Cardinal have made a statement here. Whatever momentum they may have lost after the interception, they look to have regained after that drive. Givens at the 9. It's Brown. Brown surges ahead now to the 27-yard line, an 18-yard return. Let's look again at Andrew Luck finding Ryan Whalen.
Here's Whalen. We have him circled. Now, he's here at the top, and you watch what happens. Being in the slot, he's going to have an option to go either way. He gets inside, he puts a shake move. You see it right inside on Fry. Gets there, touchdown. The key point in that was Luck. He was able to look the free safety off. That freezes you. Here you don't get a good chance to see it again.
Pass complete to Brown. He out there for a first down. Nice throw by Riley Skinner. Good heat put on by Thomas Keyser. Actually, Chase Thomas was pursuing him on the play with a good pass protection block. It's a 19-yard gain. Nice opening play for the drive. The third possession of the day for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, but they've got an 11-point deficit to make up. Three wide receivers out. Handoff inside. And this is going to be Pendergrass. Pendergrass, the sophomore from Royal Palm Beach, Florida, makes 5. One of 27 Florida natives on this Wake Forest roster. North Carolina natives make up 35. Wake Forest does a great job recruiting the state of Florida. 15 of their Floridians are from the Jacksonville area, including quarterback Riley Skinner, who was the last signed in the 2005 class. They were down there to see John Russell.
Got them both.
Yep, they got them both. The pitch to the corner. Here comes Pendergrass. Oh, great open field tackle. Bo McNally, fifth-year senior out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Well, he's the only veteran in that secondary, and he shows you why. refused to be blocked. Just flat out refused to be blocked. You know his team is up, he's on the road, and they want to be special. This team wants to separate itself from its past 7 years of Cardinal football, and they're displaying it as we watch.
Wake 1 of 3 on third down, third and 10. The throw, and Skinner avoids one hit. That ball is incomplete. Big time pressure from Thomas Keiser and Eric Lloyd, their two defensive ends.
It's a house party now. Everybody's invited, and they're getting to the quarterback. It's a feeding frenzy now. And that time, Chris DeGuerre, he just beat him off the ball. And again, you watch the effort that's there. Right now, Stanford Cardinal playing like maniacs.
Fourth down coming, Shane Poplar. Back to punt. Baldwin is back in punt formation to receive. Ball's dead, just going to take a Wake bounce inside the 10-yard line to the 9. A nice punt, 45 yards by Poplar with no return. But Stanford's defense stiffens, and the Cardinal will be back with it again. In the tailgate, they're having a good time, but the home team has work to make up. Coming up at halftime, we'll have analysis, highlights, stats, and more all coming up on the Hardy's halftime report. Your friend of mine, Mike Hopkins, Steve Martin here with Don Walker, looking at Stanford's worst field position of the day. But they're leading in this game 14-3. Second quarter, about the midway point. Wake's defense going to be called upon now. Stanford's used a good amount of their playbook, and Wake's had a hard time picking them up.
Well, Stanford had a great defensive stand when Wake had them in the red zone. That's what Demon Deacons have to do. Now, they're close. What they need to do is get some more production out of their front four.
First and 10 at the 9. Luck hands off. Gerhart turns the corner. And gets back to the 11. Toby Gerhart.
They were all over
impressive runs.
Now, the big fellas had some big runs, but you don't get it done alone. Martin, Phillips, Beeler, DeCastro, Martinelli, those big uns up front. They've been bumping pads, coming on the backside, securing the backside, giving them a seal. Been very, it's a lot of fun for me to watch this because of the interior line play.
Stanford stampede. Luck's been successful through the air. Gerhart has been an excellent complement, but not a lead factor. Luck flushed out of the pocket, throws it.
Well, you better get on that bad boy. That may not be a throw.
No, he was hit as he was going forward. And it's recovered in there by Stanford. Watch John Russell on this play.
Well, he's taking it personal. Boy, they had another perfect no-hitter. Well, that time, that's good inside move. That time, John gets under Beeler, and Kyle Wilbur. See, Wilbur started this game off with great passing. He had two great runs. Kind of cooled off, now he's back. It's on Wake Forest, that front seven. They've got to make their presence known. It's been a good series for him.
He says his best move inside is that inside club. He had that going that time.
That boy was rolling.
Third down. And a long nod. Back to throw. Luck has time. Now it disappears. The screen complete to Gerhart. And it's sold by Wake. But he's pushed out to the 20-yard line. Gets the first down. Michael Williams with the tackle. A 12-yard gain. And Stanford just gets enough to move the chain.
Give David Shaw, offensive coordinator for the Cardinal, a lot of credit. Great call. Because Wake Forest was filling their oats. Had great pressure. Boo Robinson, super rush that time. 51 in on the play. John Russell, good hustle. But the big bull, Gerhart, would not be denied.
Luck standing his ground. He's got size. 6'4", 235.
Luck is smooth.
And it's hard to take him down.
It really is.
Very high GPA as well. There's Stewart on the carry. Heads into the middle and runs headlong into Dominic Midget. Fifth-year senior out of Greensboro. Played his high school ball at Dudley High School.
That play took forever to develop, and yet they were able to maintain block. The one thing I see about the Stanford Cardinal is that they don't have any guys overweight on their offensive line. No belly floppers. So these guys got good feet. They stay up. They stay high. And they're fighting.
Second down coming. About 6. To Stewart. Not much going. Carries some people will right. Rolling down at about the 30-yard line. It'll bring up third down and about 2 with more on John Russell. Let's head to the sidelines of Mike Hardbough.
There's no doubt that he's the leader of the defensive line. We talked to him yesterday, as you said, Steve. He's listed as 6'4". No way he's 6'4". But Russell says, you know what? My height doesn't matter. What matters is my technique and my heart. Believe me, he is the leader of this defense. When they come off the field, he's the guy who's talking to every single player. He is trying to will this defense to stop Stanford.
3rd and 2. Stanford 4 of 6 on third down conversions, no matter what the distance. Gerhart in the eye. Play action for Luck. Pass is incomplete. Intended there for Owen Maricic, the fullback. We'll see the punter for the first time today for Stanford.
Good cover. Good now linebacker for the Demon Deacons was where he needed to be. And you have to credit Wake Forest. That was a big stand. It's a bold move because they secured field position.
Getting ready to punt. David Green. Back deep's going to be Devon Brown. Catch called for. And Brown picks it up. That's a 34th possession of the day for Wake Forest. Riley Skinner out of the gun. And Harris back good for protection. Goes downfield. That's a man out there. It is incomplete. And flag down on the play. It's on Sherman.
You really have to. Kaiser's doing a great job. The pressure is there. I mean, that force.
Pass interference. Number 9 in the defense. 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
You know, it's unfortunate that you're a defensive back in college football because the ball is underthrown. He has every right to the ball as a receiver. But because it's underthrown, the receiver stops, so he creates contact. I think it's inadvertent contact. What happened is that the pressure that was applied by Kaiser, that forced the throw, would have been a touchdown.
Lovell Jackson was the intended receiver on the play. Richard Sherman, a converted offensive player. Good story about that. Here comes the reverse. And the pass. Back to Skinner. Complete. First down. And headed out of bounds. Knocked out of there at the 29-yard line by Corey Gatewood. Throwing the ball, Marshall Williams. Off the reverse. And a 20-yard gain for Wake Forest as they thumb through the page.
Tommy Bohannon, 42, watching the fullback. Gets a big block. It's innovative. It's creative. But it doesn't put points on the board. Wake Forest has got to get in the end zone. They're doing a lot of things that are cute, but you got to get in the end zone. That play, you got to score on that play.
Skinner makes the reception for 20 yards. Handoff goes to Devon Brown. Brown chased by Sherman to the sidelines and knocked out just inside the 20-19-yard line.
Sooner or later, you have got to be able to run lead. You got to be able to knock somebody off the ball and man on man. And right now, I'm not convinced Wake Forest can do that. They got to make up their mind to turn this into a physical contest.
It's got to be second down and an inch. Now they say on measurement it's going to be a first down, 10-yard gain on the play. Looking up, that's Riley Skinner's first reception of his career in his 5th-year senior season. Could be the key play in this drive. Handoff straight ahead.
Now, see, that's attitude. It's not glamorous. It ain't real fancy. But I'll tell you what, if you can do that up front with their experience with Looney, you know, Keenan, Griffith, Birdsong, these guys, big, bold, and experienced, well, you got to be able to do that. If they can do that, I think then all the innovation comes in and you can be dominant.
Bohannon with a carry, one of only 14 true freshmen to play for Jim Grobe. In his first 8 years plus of coaching, that's been one of the keys to success of this program. junior out of Encino, California. He was right there in the playbook.
See a fool, he can play another one. They got some depth there.
Loss of one, and let's take a look at our red zone. Stanford defense. They were number 3 in the Pac-10 in defending the red zone, and that's a look at our O'Reilly Auto Parts red zone. Better parts, better prices every day. 3rd down 7 for Wake Forest. Key, biggest play of the game for them so far. Skinner to throw, pass, complete, touchdown! No, they're waving it off incomplete, but he didn't have possession. Intended for Parker, no score.
What a throw by Ryan Skinner. You talk about sticking it in the keyhole. Watch this. Ball's right there. 9 out of 10 times anybody plays that position gonna come down with the ball.
This is going to be under review, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes. He come down, but does he have it secure? Is it secure?
They're lining up for the point after.
Yeah, that's questionable.
The field goal, I'm sorry. Here's Shane Poppleman. Now here comes the review. Question is, no, he didn't have the ball too long after he caught it, but he'd broken the play of the end zone. Timeout on the field. Stanford 14-3, and Wake knocking on the door. We're back at BB&T Field. 33-yard field goal coming up here for Shane Popham out of the hold of Ryan McManus. They'll go halfway to the right hash mark for this one. Jim Grobe not happy to settle for 3. He wanted his team to get to 7. Stanford team that's been tough to solve this afternoon. Here's Popham's kick. It hits the goalpost and is no good. So a failed drive for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who started at 32. Watch this again.
Kind of hooks it. And that's why after that brilliantly designed play that got Skinner the ball thrown to him, I said, oh, that's great if it's to score.
Yes.
Because, you know, they've been playing good football, but they've got to attack the end zone. That's unfortunate, but it's also fortunate for the Cardinal, who once again lock them down in plus territory.
See scores from around the country. We see this score, 14-3. Stanford in the lead. They have the football. Gerhart set up. Play action from Luck. Pass is incomplete again for Jim Grobe. Want to see highlights of today's game? Check out the Haviland ACC Football Highlights now online. Each week you can view action from all Raycom ACC football telecasts and other archive video. Log on to raycomsports.com or the ACC.com for these clips and more from around the ACC. First time the Wake Forest Demon Deacons got into the red zone and did not score this season. They scored all 3 times they were there last week. And they scored a field goal the first time they were there in this game. So they were 4 for 4 right over there. Gerhart, reverse direction. And right there to get him is Fly. As he moved his way to the 25-yard line. It's going to be a game of 6. This kid falls forward and gets 6.
I tell you what, he's a bull. But John Russell, as Mike Hardwood alluded to earlier, this guy's serious. I mean, he is playing his tail off, and he's giving you 100% every snap.
4th down coming for the Stanford Cardinal. Up here, 14-3. Luck fires. Whistles blow. The play is dead.
Start. Number 52 of the offense. 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Remains 3rd down.
Tom Creech making a call. That pushes it back to the 21-yard line. 3rd down now and 9. And we're into the final minute of this first half. Fast-moving first half, dominated by Stanford, as the scoreboard indicates.
You know, it's been like a good football, but if you look at Wake, you're still in good position.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to make some plays.
We'll find some things that develop some consistency and hang your hat on. Here comes the Luck. Pass complete. It's to Baldwin. And he is close to the first down, but it's going to be going to be good for the first down. Walk out to the 34-yard line, a gain of 13. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Stanford hurrying things up here. 30 seconds left to play in the first half. Luck into the flats, complete. It's going to be Whalen, who scored twice today. He gets another first down. The question is, did he get out of bounds? At the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 12. It stops the clock with 27 seconds.
They're controlling tempo. Wake is not able to put any pressure on Luck. And Andrew Luck is a ball.
7th catch of the day by Whalen. Luck to throw, wants the big one. This time wants Baldwin and overthrows it. And that stops the clock with 22 seconds left. Stanford still has 2 timeouts.
Stanford.
Going for the jugular. You know what I mean? They can sense it at this point. Wake's kind of on his heels, a little tired. Still early. It's week 2. I don't care what people say about conditioning. You play yourself in the condition doing games, not practice. And it's just so early. So it's a good plan right now by Hardbough.
2nd down and 10. Luck has some time, flushed out of the pocket, shovel pass to Stewart, and he is hit in Wake territory. First down, but it's a time-eating play that takes 10 seconds off the clock.
By Tristan Jordy and Michael
Gets him a first down,
First down,
stops
Stanford.
the clock, and they're ready to go with another play.
Yeah, see, Coach Lambert can't get new bodies in on the front 4 to rush.
Now Stanford will take a timeout. Brad Lambert, defensive coordinator. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons saw his team face an entire different set of problems last week with a team that played a lot of spread.
Field, so get yours today. And a reminder to Wake students, the North Point Domino's location is open until 2 a.m. 7 days a week. Order online at domino's.com.
Him from West Virginia University, and of course he played.
That's Bojangles Famous Chicken, now served right here at BB&T Field. Bojangles, a proud corporate partner of Wake Forest football.
765 yards passing with the Houston Oilers, 25-44, 13 touchdown passes. You see a remarkable scorecard, especially in college ball. His son is an outstanding student. And that was one of the key. I mean, he could have gone to a lot of places, but he said, and one of the key questions he asked is, if it isn't football, where am I? And Stanford is.
He's in a good spot.
He's so good, so talented that Tavita Pritchard, who was outstanding quarterback for Stanford, is his backup now. This kid's a redshirt freshman. Look what he's done today.
And he's got help. I mean, if they get Jim Dre to catch the football, I mean, he'd be perfect.
Good throw. Here's Luck with time and 12 seconds to play. Luck, never on his feet, pulled out there by Lou Robinson. Down at the 37-yard line. Just 1 second left. Let's see what Stanford does here. Do they keep their offense on the field, or do they take a knee, or do they take a stab? 6-yard gain by Luck.
Ask me what I do.
Take a stab at it.
I'm going for the end zone.
That's right. It's closest to your locker room, so why not?
Unless I got a field goal kicker, a guy who can kick it that far, I'm take a shot at that, and let's see if Whitaker can do it.
Well, they feel good about Whitaker right now, but we've seen a couple of fakes on field goals in college football. Georgia Tech pulled one the other night.
That's special.
We asked Shane Poplar about it. He said that is a kicker's dream. And I don't know if Nate Whitaker's dreaming of that right now. Wake Forest wants a timeout to make him
Second
kick of it.
timeout.
This is going to be a 54-yard kick for Nate Whitaker, who was a junior and playing his second game as a member of the Stanford Cardinal after transferring from Notre Dame. Mike Hogg would take it a couple of times. Mixed results.
I'd like to see you take it, franchise.
Downhill, no problem.
Yeah, well, that's what I want.
There's the kick. Got some legs. He's got it. A 54-yard career-long kick for Nate Whitaker. Now the final play of the first half puts the Stanford Cardinal up on the road and looking for their second road win of the season as they lead the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 17-3.
Good snap, hold.
Now let's go to the sidelines. Mike Hogwood standing by with Jim Hardbough.
First of all, Coach, how about that last drive in the field goal? What a momentum goal.
That was big, longest field goal in Nathan's career, so that was a real momentum left.
your young quarterback, you have to be proud of what he's doing here on the road in a game like this.
Yeah, he's a shining star. He's really playing with a lot of poise here in a real hostile environment against a darn good football team. And the other guy, you get good pass protection. The guys are catching the ball for him.
And finally, getting everybody up early in the morning must have been paying off.
I think our guys are ready to play. This is a great atmosphere to play. If you don't want to fight here, you just don't like to fight. This is a great atmosphere for football.
All right, that's the head coach of Stanford, Jim Hardbough. And right now, he's got to be happy after a record-setting field goal has put his team up 17-3 here at half.
Great young man, and his story inspires Boston College Eagles who play Kent State this afternoon. All right, Wake Forest to get the ball to start the second half. It's Gibbons and Fry. This is going to be Gibbons. Moves it upfield to the 22-yard line, and Murray's there, first and down. Let's go down to Mike Hogwin. Let's take a look at how Mike's matchup is turning out.
All right, guys, well, we talked about Chris DeGear for Wake Forest, and he has done well, but they've only got 10 yards and 4 rushes off of that left side. We talked about the defensive end. He'd have to block Thomas Kaiser, All-American a year ago, Frenchman All-American. He has no tackles, so I'd say right now that Mike's matchup's pretty much a stalemate.
And might want to go in that direction a little bit more this time. Here comes Riley Skinner. Throw it out of the pocket as a man down there. It's incomplete. Defending on the play is going to be Richard Sherman. Pass intended for Marshall Williams. Brings up 2nd and 10. Let's take a look at first half possessions here. And we saw a field goal after they were stopped in the red zone.
Yeah, I see a lot of good things that Wake has done, but they haven't finished. And when you're 1 for 5 on 3rd down, then it stinks in the first half offensively.
Okay, Doc. 2nd down and 10 from the 22. Here's Devon Brown, turns the corner.
You got another way to describe 1 for 5 on the red zone.
I'm glad you weren't vague on it.
No, I mean, these guys work all week. They're good. They got a lot of pride. And then you get in there, and like Jim said, he said to Mike Hardbough, 2nd week in a row now.
Yeah.
So they have it. They're talented, but now they've got to get some guys to finish the plays. And I remarked about this early on when Chris Gibbons caught the ball and fell down. Didn't go for extra yardage.
Yeah.
So you got to put yourself into this now. The season's here.
3rd down and 4 after the 6-yard gain. Wake 1 of 5, as Doc said, they missed 4 straight 3rd down conversions. Skinner forced out of the pocket by Kaiser, and then he gets out ahead of the first down marker. Takes it down with a 35-yard line to gain of 8. Will Brown's on the tackle.
Well, see, now this is what you need. A guy to make a play. Because Kaiser's been playing like a madman. But this is what has made Riley Skinner unique. He can make plays for you. If you do it with your feet, you do it with your arms, that time he got the job done.
1st and 10. He's caught a pass for 20 yards. Makes an 8-yard rush that time. Here comes the draw play. It's to Kevin Harris, and it's not going very far. Good pursuit.
Well, see, what he's got to do is recognize who he is. That time, that play had a chance. He got to lower those pads and try to bulldoze his way up.
Let's take a look at the Demon Deacon offense. In terms of the leaders, Riley Skinner 5 for 9, 59 yards. Gibbons is a leading rusher, and he's out of the wide receiver spot. Brown with 2 catches and 87 yards. It was the same last week. 2nd down and 10. Gibbons in motion. Skinner with Harris back. To throw. Good block. Pass to Gibbons, and the pass is complete, but Gatewood makes a great open field tackle to limit the damage to just 2 yards.
I can't say enough about the inside, the pursuit. The twin bulls for Stanford inside have done. Masafila's done a good job. I mean, they got a little edge about it. I like their approach to the game.
Back to throw now again. Pass incomplete. And Riley Skinner had to rush that play and had it deflected. Delano Howell is in there to put the rush on that time. Looks like they had 8 back that time on a passing down.
Yeah, but they brought. Now, I want to watch this now. I want you to see this here. 26 White. Now watch what happens. He comes in as a dog. You're going up against a guy with experience like Skinner. Here's the hot read. It took him completely out of what they wanted to do.
Hopkins' punt is fielded at the 19-yard line. And he threads his way to the 27-yard line. It's a 45-yard kick, return 7 by Doug Baldwin. And that's where Stanford will set up for their first possession here of the second half. They're throwing 27, and they enjoy a 17-3 lead over Wake Forest. Welcome you to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Steve Martin here, along with Rick Doc Walker and Mike Hogwood. This is ACC football from Raycom Sports. Top of the hour, just past 2 here in the east. Still morning out there out west. And Stanford playing like it's late afternoon, and a drop on the pass. It's dropped by Wayne, who caught 7 before that, getting 2 touchdowns.
So he's human.
Yep.
He's human.
Nice to find that out once in a while. Second down coming up here for the Cardinal. There's Luck, redshirt freshman, who already is just a yard short of what he passed for last week all game against Washington State. This young man churning through the 200s and headed for 300 in total passing yardage today. Gerhart set up in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. Got hit once. You got to hit him hard. That's like bringing it down to John Russell.
Yeah, that's a great effort.
Hunter Haynes hit him first, but didn't have a wrap.
And Whitley has some big plays for Wake. But you can just sense that's about attitude. Wake Forest on the defensive side, they've been very competitive. Now they've got to turn it over, make some plays, get turnovers.
CPI first and 10 line. Brought to you by CPI Security. See how CPI can protect your home and family at CPISecurity.com. Third down. And 9 coming up for Stanford. They look very good on third down. Missing only 2. Here comes the pass. It is complete to Owusu, but he is brought down immediately after about a 5-yard gain. Alex Fry making sure there's no advance.
You want to see the difference between pressure, having pressure, not having pressure. That time the Demon Deacons took it personal. Good inside move. Kyle Wilbur, he was a beast in the first half. He was really the bright shine. And then Boo Robinson showing up large for the Demon Deacons.
David Green's second punt of the game. Fielded there by Devon Brown, and there's no return on it. Great hang time and a 40-yard punt. That made by Batamose for Stanford. And that brings Wake to the ball. First and 10. Their second possession of the second half. First time in the second half they went to the air and got themselves into some obvious passing situations and tried to run out of them and couldn't get it done.
Yeah, well, someone reminded Boo Robinson that he was all in the mention all ACC and high expectations, and he cranked it up on that series.
Skinner. Back to throw, has it complete to the tight end, and that is Ben Worcester. Able on the tackle, Worcester, the tight end, carries it out to the 44-yard line.
Big Ben, 6'5", 235-pounder. Worked his way right to the open area. Good throw and catch.
16-yard gain. Riley Skinner now is the Wake Forest leading career passer in terms of pass completions. That's his 666th completed pass. More than anybody else in Wake Forest history. Ryan Cookwood was the previous record holder. Here comes Josh Adams. Young man with great potential.
You got to use his blocks. I thought the first half there was a couple opportunities where he failed to cut right off Jeff Griffin. That time he did.
Well, there's 4 records now that he holds as you move the completions up there to number 1. And 3 other records to get. He already is the leading completion man in Wake Forest history. Best passing efficiency, most wins by a bundle. Riley Skinner's achieved a lot, but he wants another shot going to the Orange Bowl or the ACC Championship game and the Orange Bowl. Goes to Brown, and he's brought down there by Masafilo. And let's go to the sidelines and on Mike Hogwood.
Running back situation for Wake has been really interesting. The wide receivers have gotten the bulk of the carries. There are 3 guys, Kevin Harris, Josh Adams, and Brandon Pendergrass. None of the 3 has won the job. They're basically rotating each series till one guy stands stands out above the other. I think one of the things Wake needs is one of those running backs to stand up and claim that job.
Josh Adams is the player of choice on this series. Skinner with a man in motion, hands off to Gibbons on the end around. He's got time. And Gibbons inside the 30 gets down to the 27-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. Holman Bailey on the stop.
Well, here they go again. You can feel it, the crowd. Big block right there, 27 with the big block, Josh Adams. He also had a good job of perimeter. Now watch it, right there. See the block? Boy, you can't do it any better. He also got some help from his friends downfield, the wide receivers. Wake Forest on the move.
First and 10 from the Stanford 27. Here comes Adams. Not much there as he gets his way down to the 25. That's about it. 2-yard gain on the play. Kaiser makes the stop. Kaiser's been everywhere in the run game. Sophomore out of Wexford, Pennsylvania. Last week against Washington State, 4.5 tackles, 3 were for loss, and he had a sack total in there. This is a young man who's stepping into a veteran unit.
He's serious. Now this is where Stanford has really played his best defense.
Second down now and 8. Approaching the red zone. Skinner to throw. Pass rush there. Flag goes down. He'll head to the sidelines. Pushed out of there by Kaiser at the 22-yard line. But let's see what the flag is going to be. It's a hold, and it's against Wake Forest.
You see who forced that hold. I want to know. There's a 72 inside. That's why the holding. See, I want to know the guy who forced you to hold because he's the playmaker. And then that takes
Holding. Number 7 of the offense. 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. It remains second down.
I want you to watch 54, Akon, Udofia. Now watch him. There he is, circle. Watch him. Get inside. Stalemate. Now he breaks to it, and there's the hold. There's the grab. Good call.
Pushes the ball back to the 35 here, Doc, and now it's second down and 18.
Well, by nature, we always say holding on number 72.
Yeah.
Let's find out who forced the hold. That's the guy who's the star.
And that's one thing Doc Walker does every time. We're not going to hand the blame out without handing out the credit. Here comes the pass to Gibbons in the front. Gibbons makes his way to the 25. Yes, that was now big step on Clinton Snyder. Wow! About 2 playmakers in that secondary, Snyder and McNally. And McNally is of particular interest because he's got good lineage. His grandfather, Dave McNally, our producer, Rob Reichley, was a big Orioles fan.
Yeah.
And that was part of a great pitching.
Watch this at the end. Oh! I mean, see, that's football. That's going after it. Man, I tell you what, if Jordan Williams had got involved in the play, might have been a big one.
Wake 2 of 7 on third down. Third down and 9. Skinner steps up and out. Pass complete to Winfrey. Winfrey at the 20, pulls ahead to the 19, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Boy, Renfred, he couldn't get his shoulder square. You know, the big 260-pounder, had he been able to square up, he could have got that first down. Now watch it. At this point, it's a numbers game. Now you watch. Here's a guy who will get the ball. He adjusts it, but a big guy can't get his shoulder square. Close to a first down.
Max Bergen makes the tackle. 4th down and 2. No field goal attempt here. They're going for it. And off ahead for Adams. He's got the first down. And inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. Richard Sherman makes a touchdown-saving tackle after a 15-yard gain by Josh Adams.
That's a good piece of running there. Man, if he only got some help from his wide receiver. Inside 61, you see McMillan. Watch on the outside. See, Richard Sherman wouldn't be denied. He won the battle. If you want to score touchdowns, your wide receivers have got to block.
First and goal from the 3-yard line. Hand off Renfred. Renfred into the end zone. Touchdown, Wake Forest, their first of the day.
When you get a 260-pounder in your backfield, you don't have to get real cute. You can get real open. So you can go between your tackles, and then that becomes a manhood issue.
8th play of the drive results in a touchdown.
So you can leave the grease board at home on this one. This is mano a mano, man on man.
Forest touchdown, and what they didn't need has happened. They kick it out of bounds, and that will give Stanford the football at the 40-yard line.
Place on the 40-yard line. First down.
So Stanford, as if they need any help, they just went through their first 3 and out. Now all of a sudden they're going to be on the 40-yard line. Well, that's scoring summary. Of course, Michael Renfret, 3-yard touchdown run, his second in as many games. And our Polaris hardest working player of the week is Kyle Wilbur. Last week, the sack, fumble recovery, block field goal attempt against Baylor. Best field position of the day for Stanford after the out-of-bounds kick. Luck, pitch, Gerhart. Hits the corner. Look at him leap into the hole and get 7 yards where others probably get only 3.
First down is so important. You just want to get a good start. You get a toss play, boy, you won't see. You may see it. While in good block on the outside, really secure the edge. And what Stanford wants to do now, you want to play with that clock. You want to control that clock, get some first downs, and show the physical side of your team in your offense.
Whalen split wide to the top side. Owusu to the bottom. Out of the shotgun, Luck fires. Pass is complete to Owusu. He's in Wake Forest territory down to the 37-yard line. It's going to be a 17-yard gain to Owusu. Dominique Majet makes the tackle for Wake Forest, but it's another Stanford first down.
Andrew Luck stood in there. Big-time bolo rush by Michael Lockett. He got right in there, created a lot, lost his hat, but Luckett stood strong. No panic, good throw and catch for the Cardinal.
5 receptions by Chris Owusu. And Andrew Luck continues to impress. Heady, redshirt freshman. Looks like he's been there all along. Pitch to the corner to Stewart. Stewart turns the corner, heads to the first down marker, stop 2 yards shy. Jamming in on the tackle along with Kyle Wilbur. And look at this score. North Carolina, Rocky Road, and Duke has forced themselves ahead of Harvard.
Yes, sir.
Stadium,
I just changed when I got shown.
It's an emotional game. Florida beating Troy at the half. And State by 3 touchdowns over Syracuse. Our score 17-10 Stanford. Second down and 2. A lot of second and shorts here for the Stanford offense. That's how well they move the ball. Risic moves into motion. Gerhart taps it in the backfield. Will he get out? The black shirts accumulate. He gathers strength. Good stiff arm. He's forced out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
Toby Gerhart with the carry.
A loss of 5 on the play. What pursuit by Wake. Michael Williams finishes it off.
Well, Wake Forest, somebody got the message to him during this ball game. And this second half has been a different group defensive. Demon Deacons applying pressure. Guys like Gerhart, Hart, and love that straight arm. But the bottom line is that the Deeks are pushing them back, and that's what you want. A field goal here for Stanford. It's like a touchdown.
4:24 left to go in the third quarter. Stanford looking at 3rd and 7. 5 of 8 on third down conversions. Luck, big rush on screen is there to Stewart. Williams with the tackle short of the first down. Ball down to the 27-yard line. They need the 26.
What a chess match. David Shaw, Brad Lambert. You know, at that time, the Demon Deacons, boy, they sent the wolves after a screen call. So it was the right play versus right defense, but a saving tackle.
They're going for a field goal here. Nate Whitaker will hit a 54-yarder to end the first half. It's out of the hole of Bowman down. This is a 44-yard attempt. Nothing but the line for this game. This one's going to be wide to the left. So Wake Forest bends, but they do not break. And they get the football back with 3:31 left to go in the third quarter. And they're down a touchdown. Back after this word from your local ACC station. Wake Forest on offense now after stopping a Stanford drive with a missed field goal. Handoff goes to Brown. There's an opening. First down. Near midfield at the 45. yards, and it really picks up where Wake left off last drive.
Well, Pendergrass had a big block on that play. Now watch this. Getting inside, Josh Adams with a big run, and this is what I think they need more of. Just bulldozing, showing you power up front.
Pendergrass is going to be the running back for Riley Skinner this series around, at least for a first down.
A big block on that first down play.
Pendergrass, follows Birdsong while Looney through the hole, runs a goal by the guard, and they get out to the 48-yard line. Stanford, a 6-yard gain.
Looney looked like a tight end on that pull, boy. Big weight. But you can see a little, they've got a little hip in the step, a little pepper in the grits. Now they figured this thing out. And that's all you need sometimes, is to figure it out, get momentum going, and you're a completely different team.
They've got a veteran offensive line. They've got DeGear back. He's a solid, modified leader.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to make it pay off for second down and 4. Brown steps around the block. He's on his own now. He's brought down in a nice open field.
And the hold to the tree to Hard Brown.
You better believe Ben Gatewood. That Gatewood to the house.
Yes, it will.
And the Cardinal and Lance Anderson, the coordinator, got to be pleased with his Cardinal because he'll get to the ball. See, it gets flow, they come back. Look how many white shirts get the pictures. That's what you want.
On third down, Pendergrass turns the corner. Catch out of bounds, and he's got the first down. Good start for the 36-yard really starting to move the ball on the ground.
Well, they got this crowd, and Mike Hardwood could probably give us a better illustration of it. But now I'm starting to feel like I'm at a home environment. I mean, that little beach look over there on the lawn has probably turned against them sometimes. Everybody kicked back too much.
3 wide outs to the wide side of the field. Handoff Pendergrass again. Pendergrass follows Looney's block and gets more yardage down to the 33 and 4-yard gain. Again, Corey Gatewood and Clinton Snyder on the tackle for Stanford. Coming up next week, we go to Death Valley. Always a great place. Great atmosphere for college football. Boston College and Clemson. McFadden Trophy, or helmet, if you will, up for grabs.
We had some good grits today here in Wake Forest. You know next week is going to be some real good grits.
Skinner. Handoff Gibbons. Gibbons on this end around. He collects more yardage. Very close to the first down. He's going to be a yard short at the 27.
They're running that stretch now. It really, which plays its toll on the defensive line because it takes the wind out of yourselves. They're forcing the Cardinal now to do a lot of running to go get to him. And I think sooner or later you're going to see him pop it right up that hash mark.
On down the final minute of the third quarter. Here comes Renfro. Well, that's Bohannon. Bohannon gets the first down and puts it across the 25. So Wake all business and all on the ground.
Joe Birdsong, 76. Now that is an illustration of what I've been trying to say the whole afternoon. Big Joe took it upon himself, driving the Cardinal down 7 yards. That's what you got to do, because to me, experience is overrated. What difference does it make how long you've been there if you're not doing anything? In the first half, they didn't do anything. Now they're balling.
1st and 10 at the 25 of Stanford. Skinner steps up. No, he's not going to run. He's going to throw. He's got a man out there. Was he inbounds? No. Intended receiver Devon Brown. And that's the difference between Skinner and other quarterbacks. Skinner's not going to be a guy who's going to run things out of the wishbone or the flexbone or anything of that. He's going to wait for somebody to get
I'll tell you what, he can toss it. That's a terrific throw. Just ran out of real estate. And I think when he looks at this in film study, he's going to probably say, I should have just tucked and ran. Because he had a lot of grass in front of him.
Well, Doc, 9th play of the drive coming. Wake down by a touchdown. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Gibbons on the handoff on the stretch. Turns the corner and does not get the first down. He gets it down to about the 23. Clinton Snyder drove out of bounds. It's a 2-yard gain. Now let's see how the field goal unit.
Devon Brown got the block. That time he was able to get a hold of his man. But give the Cardinal credit, man. They're stretching him beyond the half from the number to number, and they continue to pursue him.
Jordan Williams comes into the lineup. No field goal attempt here. Riley Skinner. It's on 3rd down. 3rd down and 7. And let him down to play with here. driving into the end zone to cut this down to a 7-point game here at BB&T Field. Fourth quarter next. We are back at BB&T Field. Wake Forest has narrowed the margin here as we start the fourth quarter. 17-10 score. Let's take a look at Wake Forest in the red zone today. This 3 possessions, 1 touchdown, 1 field goal, and 1 miss. That's a look at the O'Reilly Auto Parts red zone. Better parts is every day. The measurement for first down success. Skinner hands off. Pass. Has Griffin in front, and Gatewood along with Chike Omoye. It's a great stop.
Yeah, if they get some blocking with their wideouts, the man will be playing. They'll be in the end zone. But it's just not been a good effort. Or the Cardinals have been superior on the outside. Kaiser, you talk about a motor. Chasing down, going after it.
12th play of the drive coming up. Wake Forest forced a missed field goal last Stanford possession. They're trying to cash in on it here in the red zone. Kevin Allen bounces outside. Inside the 10 to about the 8. Warwick is in there on the tackle, and Thomas Kaiser also there as well.
Kaiser's around the ball all day long. I think he went to tackle the football and just lost it. That's strong. Look how many white shirts at the point of attack.
Good solid defensive effort by Stanford this afternoon.
Nice play action opportunity here for the Demon Deacons to play off that aggressiveness of Stanford.
Wake Forest 6 on third down in the second half after going 1 of 5 in the first. Looking at 3rd down and 3 here. Skinner stands in to throw. Fires into the end zone, and it is incomplete. He was looking there for Marshall Williams.
So he had Devon Brown wide open, but the pressure limited his vision. Good pressure by the Cardinal. He stepped up. And I don't know if Williams quit on the route or not.
Roddy didn't have too many places to put it, tell you.
No, he really didn't.
Going for it on 4th down. 4th down and about 3. Skinner out of the pocket, into the end zone. Touchdown! Jordan Williams with a 9-yard strike for Roddy Skinner. And we're a point after away from being all knotted up.
The same pressure burst pipes. Well, I'll tell you what, the Demon Deacons went for it. There was no fear. Good execution, great play by your senior.
Shane Bachman for the kick after, and it goes through. Not pretty, but it goes through, and we have a tie ball game. 2 key 4th down plays. This one to Jordan Williams, 9 yards in the end zone. And we're all knotted up at 17 all here in Winston-Salem. Riley Skinner now time with Jay Venuto, 4th in career passing touchdowns with the 37th. That
I don't want to talk to him.
Williams.
Not good.
A 9-yard score on 4th down and 3. Chris Owusu of Stanford waiting for the kick with Clint Beam. We've got a wild 4th quarter to come. 14 minutes in the second to play. Ball falls from the team. We've got a pretty good breeze blowing from left to right across your television screen. That would be coming dead out of the north. Could be a factor if somebody has to kick into it at the end that Beam is kicking out. It would be a problem for Stanford. With the wind behind him, he'll nail this one out of the end zone. Man,
Bigfoot.
Well, let's watch the touchdown again on 4th down and 3.
Well, at the bottom of your screen here, you see wide receiver Jordan Williams, the 6'3", 200-pound junior. He rolls in it, but the real key to me is getting to avoid Chase Thomas with the rush. They forget about him in the middle, he's wide open. But give that credit to Riley Skinner for avoiding the rush of the Cardinals' Chase Thomas to make the big play.
So now it's Stanford's turn. 1st and 10. On their own 20-yard line. Andrew Luck's never been into a pressure cooker like this in his college career. 50-yard line. It is a 30-yard gain.
Oh, my goodness. You get a simple play, go big if you make a mistake. You can't be that far out of position. This team is just scoring, momentum's on your side, but it happens. That's the beauty of college ball.
There's Ryan Whalen, his 8th catch of the day. He already has 2 touchdown receptions. Biggest play of the day, really, in offensive yardage. That surpassed Gerhart's 27-yard run. Luck. Good play action. It's in midair for grabs. There's an oddity. Usually passes are batted down at the line of scrimmage. This one was batted down in the secondary.
Great coverage by the Demon Deacons.
Now time for our Progress Energy Progress Report. Look at the stats through 3 quarters of play, and you'll see that Wake Forest picked it up and nearly evened the score in total yards with Stanford through 3, picking it up in the 3rd quarter, 155 to 38.
How about that?
How about that?
To it. Down. Yeah, so you jumped all over me when I gave you an honest assessment of the productivity of the first half. Maybe they were listening.
Maybe they were. 2nd down and 10. Luck out of the shotgun. Pass complete, but not much gain for Chris Owusu. 5-yard gain for Stanford. Will bring up 3rd down and 5.
And Owusu's a guy who can break you down in one play. And Stanford's going to have to figure out a way to get their playmakers involved down yonder. Because they need a big play. This crowd, everything is starting to shift itself, to the Demon Deacons.
Fry makes the great stop. You see the crowd here at BB&T Field. They've been looking for some inspiration, and their team has provided it with their play in the 2nd half. 3rd down and 5. Stanford and Wake tied at 17. Luck with Tom fires. There's a man out there. We have whistles blowing. No, will kill the play.
Great route.
Owusu made the
Ball
catch.
start. Buddy out for number 2. 5-yard penalty. Number 9's 3rd down.
So we replay 3rd down, but with worse yardage. Now let's head to the sidelines. Mike Hardbough.
That was talking a moment ago about the crowd being into the game. I think that's been an impact, but even more, Coach Jim Grobe, his expression has not changed from the opening gun of this game until right now, and I think that really does have a calming effect on this team.
I talked to him about that yesterday. I said, Jim, I don't care if you turn it over or score a touchdown. It looks the same.
No question. I think that's calming for his kids.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not an emotional whiplash.
Well, he says, the kids play the game.
What a rush.
Oh, great rush. And that is going to be Joey Ehrman. But wait a minute, there might be a whistle that stopped this play.
Yeah, but you need to stop. See, Ehrman didn't stop playing. Joey had his motor cranked
Before
up.
the snap, timeout. Stanford University, called by the head coach. That's their first timeout.
Man, Jim Hardbough saved his team a big loss that time. Timeout on the field, score tie. 3rd down and 10 coming for the Stanford Cardinal. Mistakes have robbed them of their offensive momentum here in the 2nd half. They've had a penalty and they had to take a timeout to get themselves organized. They're 3rd and 10. Luck back to throw. Fires. And it's incomplete. His worst ball of the day.
But it's pressure. And Matt Woodley, again, I'm giving Demon Deacons their credit. Watch it right in the gut. Right in the middle, in your face, pressure around the end, relentless pursuit, getting after the quarterback. And now you see some of the emotion. That's what I expected out of the whole team from kickoff.
That's the 3rd missed 3rd down opportunity for Stanford. Here comes Green with a punt, nearly blocked by Brandon G. Their catch called for. Now he wisely gets away from it inside the 20 at the 14-yard line. And Chick-fil-A's original chicken sandwich, a signature product since 1946. It's great for all occasions. And you can win a chance to receive a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich at chickenwave.com.
We had a great lunch yesterday.
Yes, we did. Oh, we always do. They take good care of us on set day. And fans enjoying a Chick-fil-A sandwich here at BB&T Field. That's our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. This is a veteran Wake Forest team, and they share the distinction with Virginia Tech, carrying the most seniors, either true or redshirt senior or 5th-year seniors than anybody in the ACC. Here comes a handoff. It's the pitch to Adams. Adams finds an open territory. Right hard out to the 28-yard line. Gain of 15. Tackle made by Bo McNally of Stanford.
And a great cut. And he had an effort downfield. This time, Marshall Williams was downfield blocking 22 yards downfield. That's the commitment you got to make in order to spring backs.
And now we've got timeout on the field. We have an injured player down for Stanford. See who it is. Looks like it's Matthew Masafilo, sophomore from Iwa Beach, Hawaii. He's had a great game, man.
You mentioned it in the open. Stanford comes in, they lose a starting offensive lineman in week 1. You know, and with their quality starter, they're 22. They're obvious what they can do. The problem always comes in with depth.
That's right. And you know, you made a point during the last commercial break that Wake Forest is taking advantage of their depth here in the second half, especially on defense.
Well, they couldn't get pressure with the starters. They started bringing in fresh legs, and they started getting more pressure. And give Stanford credit. I mean, for a half, I mean, they had you couldn't penetrate that wall.
No,
that offensive line did a good job, but they're starting to break down, and that's what happens in the fourth quarter when you're a road team.
There's Masafilo. Let's watch him. Rolled underneath his own man, Will Powers.
Palomalo's injury.
Yeah,
The Steelers.
right, exactly. Except the opposite knee.
Opposite knee.
And with more on this injury, let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwarts.
Well, Masafilo going out, his normal backup is Brian Bulkey. He is already out with a shoulder injury, so they're getting down the depth chart now at that defensive tackle spot.
Yeah, Sione Fua probably is the guy who will come in, who's played a lot for him. And I hate to see that. Kids work so hard for this.
1st and 10. Wake Forest moving the football. A chance to take the lead for the first time today. This is going to be Devon Brown. A play that they've run with both he and Chris Gibbons with mixed success. 4 yards. Thomas Kaiser on the stop.
This Wake Forest offense, I mean, it's not what it was when they had the orbit. And they really, I think, caught the league by storm. This is just, you're not used to seeing this. Defensively, you got to make sure the guy has the ball. And it has been very effective for short games, but they haven't had the big one yet.
2nd down at 6 to the 4-yard gain. Play action. Gibbons on the wing. And Gibbons gets ahead to the 37-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 6, and it's going to be very close to the first down. McNally in on the tackle.
And a good tackle. Because one of the things that Wake Forest wants to do is just get the ball in the hands of playmakers. But Stanford has tackled very well in open space.
Well, McNally had 6 tackles a week ago at Washington State. 3rd and short.
The bull.
And that is Renfred. Now let's see where they mark the original progress. The 38-yard line. It's going to be very close to the first down, and it is. Another Wake Forest first down. The Demon Deacons have been 4th down wizards in the second half. They had a 4th and 1. And Josh Adams sprung a 15 inside the 5-yard line. And then, of course, on a 4th and 3 on their last score, Riley Skinner hit Jordan Williams. 9-yard strike in the end zone.
Well, Renfred and Bohanna, they've got 2 bulls they can use between the tackles.
Max protection for Riley Skinner. Little flare pass on the screen. Comes up to Adams. Adams a good open field run. And he gets to midfield with another Wake Forest first down. And a gain of 12. Delano Howell is in on the tackle.
That's experience. And that's experience. There's no way this should happen. I mean, they should go down, but he doesn't. He's poised, finds a good catch, and here's where I like it. You make yards after the catch against a good tackling defense.
Marshall Williams and Devon Brown are split wide out to the wide side of your screen. Renfred, Adams, over 9 Skinner. The pitch to Adams. Renfred leads the way, and Adams sneaks up inside and gets a little bit of running on to the 47-yard line.
Will Powers. Will Powers was having nothing to do with that. It's a tie ball game. These kids have traveled all the way across the country. You can see the tire. You know it's rough. It's hot down there. But now, if you want to win it, you got to be in it. Now you got to play your best ball. That was a great job not being blocked.
2nd down and 7. Brown to the top. In motion, Gibbons. Skinner in the gun. Handoff now to Adams. Sweep to the right, left. And he gets out over the 40 to the 44. Kaiser in on the tackle.
guys would beat a double team to make that play. See, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of your will to win. Sooner or later in the ball game, it comes down to who wants it the most. And you're going to have to break another man's will.
Wake 6 out of 13 on third down conversions this afternoon. They've had a lot of success in the second half. They are something like 5 for 8 in the second half. Score tied at 17. Gibbons in motion. Pass to Brown on the flats. Stanford's got it sniffed out, maybe. And if Brown, second effort, gets himself into Stanford territory, but he's still a bit short of the first down. Eric Lorig on the deck.
Well, McNally, he slows it up. But see, now we're talking about some big-time competition going on. Everybody's landing on the line. Who wants it? I tell you, both sides do. And watch the effort. Could go down here. Doesn't. Keeps his balance. Squares up. And then you see the white shirts converge.
And now Wake Forest is going to punt the ball away. Good defensive stance here by Stanford to force Wake Forest into a punt. In Stanford territory, and a chance to put the Cardinal deep. 7:28 left to play. Hopping with a kick. Fair catch called for and pulled down by Doug Baldwin at the 13-yard line. It's a 29-yard kick, but no return. 7:20 to play. Tie ball game. Wake Forest and Stanford at 17. Score tied at 17 all. Here's 7:20 to play. A reminder that this broadcast is a copyright presentation of the Atlantic Coast Conference, and the use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Raycon Sports is prohibited. First and 10, Stanford at their own 14, 7:20 to play. Gerhart has been quiet in the second half. Turns the corner, gets above the 20, and out to the 21-yard line. And that's 7 yards they just don't have to worry about.
They've been very efficient on first down. But now fatigue becomes a problem. And this is the beautiful part of it. I mean, with 6:59 to go in the ball game, it's anybody's game at this point. And it's going to be a play here or there that turns the tide.
Second down and 3. Ball at the 21. Well, hand off Gerhart. We may see a steady diet of this. He's got the first down as he lowers his head at the 25-yard line. Our principal financial edge of the game heads to Wake Forest. Score, Wake Forest 2 touchdowns to none in total yardage. Wake Forest 215 to 73. A complete reversal of the first half result.
And Big Boo Robinson on that last play, they had 3 men trying to block him, and he held his ground. So Boo has really stepped his game up here in the second half.
Stanford's used 1 minute to execute 2 plays in the first down. Both runs to Gerhart. Luck open in the backfield, pass complete to Baldwin. Another first down out to the 37-yard line. Now don't sell this team short because they can ratchet it up in a short order. They set themselves up for a 54-yard field goal on 4 quick plays in a minute. 12-yard game.
Nate Whitaker has also already shown us he can be Bigfoot.
The other 2 halves in first downs, in third down conversion, and in rushing yards. First and 10. Ball at the 37 of Stanford. Luck. Looking left, pass incomplete. Intended out there for Owusu.
Hunter Hayes defending. And Brad Lambert, defensive coordinator for Wake, has got to really be pleased because you want to see if your kids can adjust to the moment. And the moment was they were not in control of it. And they were able to gain some control of it. And now they need a tip, they need a sack, they need a big play. And what the Cardinal need to do is remember Chris Owusu. Playmaker is on your side.
Scored on a touchdown return and a pass for a touchdown reception a week ago. Second down and 10. Play action right. Throws back across the ground to Dre, his tight end. Michael Williams with the tackle. That's going to be a gain of about 7 yards. It'll be shy of the first down. They'll bring it out to the 45-yard line.
Alex Fry, great job. Free safety. Watch the ball moving. See, I like this kid. This kid, I mean, his mechanics is sound. Fry took away Owusu. so he dropped it down to his big tight end. Dre makes the catch.
Third down and 2, biggest third down conversion in the second half for the Cardinals.
Boy, if you don't like this, you don't like it at all.
Rowland is out there in the slot, just inside the shoulder of Ryan Whalen. The pitch comes to Gerhart. They load it that side. He's got the first down and he's dancing. Gerhart down the sideline. We got a flag down on the play, however. A flag down in the Stanford backfield. A 39-yard gain.
That was shades of El Rigo. Super Bowl 17, rumbling. Looks like Case Beeler might be the victim of this. Let's see. He's talking about going for it. Let's take a look. Let's see.
Chop block.
Yeah, there's a chop. Wait a minute. Right here. Yeah, that looked like
Flipping call. What have lost some yards of penalties today. Wiped out a touchdown early.
Personal foul. Looking. Going to run by the offense. 15 starts on foul. And then start down.
But he raced a 39-yard gain. Instead, it's happened with a 10-yard loss, a 15-yard loss.
didn't look well. You know, they got to protect the guys, but somebody's always going to be mad.
What a run. Third down, 13. 39-yarder taken off the board. Stanford in the hole. Pass complete. It's out there to Whalen, but nowhere close to the first down to the 42. Fourth down coming up. Career high 9 pass reception by Ryan Whalen. He also has 2 touchdowns today. But the punter's coming on.
I'm with Jimmy on that. I mean, I can live with certain things I can't live with.
Here comes the kick. Nice hang. Brown forced back to the 10. Doesn't fair catch it. Woo-hoo. A 45-yard kick and a loss of 3, so a 48-yard net. All right, 1st and 10. Wait, 4 minutes to play. Shadow of the end zone. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to be Harris. That's some nice yardage. He gets out to the 18-yard line, and it's going to be close to the first down, 89 yards off.
Yeah, I like that. I like seeing the big fella with the ball in his arms. They get him good blocking. He turns, he squares up, you know, and it looks like he could do that at will.
Second down and inches. Handoff goes to Renfro. North Carolina, 5th-year senior, gets the first down and moves the chains for Wake Forest. 3:30 left to play.
What a way to start the season.
Wake Forest has 3 timeouts left. Stanford, mind you, had to burn one 2 possessions ago.
You got to think touchdown though if you wait, man. You got to try to think touchdown.
Here is Brown. Lead blocker out on the edge. Doesn't provide much for him, but he does manage to get 3 yards out of it.
You know, Mike Hallwood mentioned that Stanford and Jim Hardbough didn't allow his players to sleep. And all coming out, it won't be anybody awake going back. They'll leave no line. These kids are playing their guts out.
Look at Boston College up 3 touchdowns on Kent State. We'll see Boston College next week. Penn State makes Greg Thomas's life even more difficult with a 28-7 lead. 2nd down and 7. And we got a whistle. A flag thrown on the play. It'll be a procedure penalty against Wake.
Ball start. Number 61 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
There have been some great 4th down plays, especially in this second half for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. This is
Gutsy calls, yeah.
Josh Adams on 4th and 1. Gets it inside the 5.
Bulldozer.
That Renfret over for the score, and then of course this 4th down play. 4th and 3 to Jordan Williams to tie this ball game up at 17-all.
can't say they don't have courage.
Shown it this afternoon. Second down now coming up after the penalty. And Riley Skinner. He'll move ahead and get close to the first down as he gets it out to the 33-yard line. We're approaching the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, he's running the keeper. He's not done that today. I've been watching to see if he can keep it. This is the time you do it. There was no way that would work because he kept it all day. That was a great execution. Tom McAndrew didn't have a chance.
10-yard gain for Riley Skinner, who's had some key plays today. Caught a 20-yard pass. And that's his second run of the day, and both have gained first downs. Skinner out of the gun. Steps up, fires, complete to Brown. In Stanford territory at the 47-yard line with a minute 37 left to play.
That's as good a throw as you want. We're under pressure, time ball game. He puts it right on the money. And the key is that you can give your playmakers a chance to catch it and not have to stop. But they can catch and go, you can pick up more yards.
He did just that. Minute 24, clock rolling. Wake with all of their timeouts. And excellent field position with a score tie. Skinner to throw the pass. Caught somehow, but no gain. And in fact, a loss of about 5 there. And Jordan Williams did all he could to keep it in possession.
He did. Good effort. But Stanford safeties, Bo McAnally and Howell have just been...
First timeout of this half. It's a 30-second timeout.
Wake Forest takes their first timeout here in the second half. Stops the clock with a minute 3, and we'll take it with them. We're tied at 17. We're back in Winston-Salem, fourth quarter, minute 3 left to go. Second down and 15. Wake Forest, Stanford tied. Wake with the ball. Here's Skinner. Steps inside the pocket, fires to the sidelines. It is complete. And that is going to be Marshall Williams pulling down the ball at the 46-yard line of Stanford. It's going to be a gain of 6. They lost 5 on the previous play. So that'll bring up third down and 9. Wake has done a lot better in third down conversions down here in the second half. They got third and a tall order here.
Now they're still trying to get beyond that secondary. Sherman, Howell, and McAnally, Gatewood for the Cardinal. Played some ball.
5 and 9 in the second half. Skinner on the throw. It's down! And down at the 3-yard line. Lavelle Jackson, redshirt freshman from Tampa, Florida, makes his first catch of the day. 43 yards.
Talk about the value of Riley Skinner. We showed you all those stats about where he ranks. He ranks high with me because he's making big plays in crunch. Good execution.
Jim Grobe said to us yesterday, he said, we got some talented wide receivers. They're big, they're quick, but boy, are they young. At that time, Lavelle Jackson turned on the Jets, got behind the secondary. First and goal, Wake at the 3, 32 seconds to play. And out straight ahead, does he have it? It's going to be very close for Mike Winfrey. Second touchdown of the day.
Well, they've been so dominant. If they run this bulldozer, they have been shown that Griffin and Keenan Looney, the interior of this offensive line, have been able to get the job done.
Well, got a timeout now. Wake Forest will call their second timeout to stop the clock with 20 seconds left to go here in regulation. The fans, even those on Deacon Hill, beginning to get into it here.
Deacon Hill, man. We talking about lounges. This looks like down in Catalina.
Here's Renfret. Oh, so close.
Yeah, look at Birdsong. Now, see, he's got his guy. You know, he's making contact in the end zone. Look at the black shirts pushing the white shirts down. But Renfret, for my money.
This may be under review, Doc. It is.
Yeah, look at the bulldozer. See, that looks like he's well, you can go either way. If you want him in, he's in. It's definitely worth it.
Let's take a look at Wake Forest thus far this afternoon in the red zone. 4 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal so far. And that's a look at the O'Reilly Auto Parts Red Zone, better parts, better prices every day. This play looks like it's being reviewed. And our replays show it's very close. That Brinfret knee and ball probably touched before he broke the play.
Yeah, I think it will go either way. But I know this. He had a ball on the next possession, next play as well.
But Wake Forest burned the timeout. Probably Jim Grobe's asking, hey, we're going to review that. Is that mine?
Timeout back.
Now North Carolina gets a safety to take the lead, and Duke piling up on Army. 28-13. Virginia Tech cruising past Marshall. Boston College leading over Kent State with CBC next week at Clemson. There's Jim Hardbough, his counterpart, Jim Grobe, waiting for the review process to complete itself, and it's taken a while here. Riley Skinner has engineered 6 fourth-quarter game-winning drives in his career here at Wake Forest, and I have a 7th up
After further review, the play stands as called. The runner was down prior to getting in the end zone. Please reset the game clock to 24 seconds, 2-4. Stanford is charged with a timeout.
Stanford is charged with a timeout here, too. Here's the drive. 9 plays, 90 yards, started at the Wake Forest 9.
Well, now that's an example of experience. Now I can buy that they're experienced because they've shown it when it counted most. They didn't crumble. And if they give the ball to the Bull, this bad boy is over.
Well, they're looking at 2nd down and goal. They're inside the 1. Harris and Winfret make up the backfield. Wake has 1 timeout remaining. Skinner will take it on his own. No signal yet. Kaiser says he didn't get in.
I don't think he did either.
That brings up 3rd down. Clock moving with 12 seconds left to go.
Mike Winfret is money in the bank.
Here comes the ball. Forcing their way in. Do they get it? Time stops with 2 seconds left.
Kaiser he's an animal. I'm telling you what, them kids, and this is without.
He got in. Touchdown, Wake Forest. Riley Skinner calls his own number.
That's design. I'm telling you what, I can't see it from here. There is no movement. Movement was out of the question. Stanford, they were bowling some backs in that one. Well, there was some ribs crushed on this deal. I'm telling you, this is what it comes down to. The ultimate tug of war.
He's under that pile somewhere.
Yeah, you think he is. You hope he is, but you don't know.
And we could have another review. We've had 2 reviews here.
I'm Jim Hardbough. I would want it.
They're going to review this again, and good luck finding Riley Skinner underneath that pile. You see everybody but one.
I'm Jim Hardbough. I mean, I've already had one gut-wrenching call go against me. I'm going to make you prove this one.
Come to a decision very quickly.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
Nothing could make the 25 to 27,000 here at BB&T Field happier. As the Wake Forest Demon Deacons have nailed one in the end zone here to take a 23-17 lead, pending point after. Riley Skinner in for the 1 football. Popping for the kick. Ooh, it's a low scribble, but it went over.
Extra point attempt is good.
The Deacons pulled this one off. Remember, Chris has brought one back to the house. He did it last week against Washington State. Watch number 81 for Stanford. 2 seconds left to go. Their only option left. Riley Skinner smiling on the sidelines. He talked yesterday about recapturing the leadership that brought this team to an ACC championship in 2006. He's thought a lot about that year as he approaches his 5th and final season here at Wake.
But Wake has to understand they've got Bulls out in their back. They beat Baylor a year ago. Baylor comes in here with purpose. They want to beat them. You come in here fearful now. So they've got to understand how they're perceived now. People come in and they're afraid of them and respect them. They got to come out and bring together, have their man on.
They were down 17-3 at the break. They've scored 21 unanswered points. Owusu with an 85-yard kickoff return last week against Washington State. He's back there ready to get the kick of Clint Bean. That's going to be a timeout taken. And let's see who takes the timeout. Was it taken by Stanford or Wake Forest? It's going to be taken by Wake. They're going to talk things over, and Jim Grobe is going to make sure that Clint Bean, who's played soccer here at Wake Forest, knows to avoid number 81.
Yeah, you want a coaching point. You want guys that are covering the kick to stay in the lanes. Keep the ball on the inside shoulder. Don't be a hero. Do your job.
Remember, too, the clock doesn't roll until the ball is touched.
Right, so you don't want some guys screaming down there, throwing their bodies around and opening up lanes, because he can do it.
Plus, you don't want any penalties in this situation.
None yet.
You don't want to be kicking it at your own 20.
What a ball game. Oh, goodness.
What a great second half of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Pushed around in the first half by Stanford, and then did some pushing of their own in the second. Completely turned the tide on a very good Stanford team in the second half. Here's Bean. He'll kick it low. It'll bounce to the up back. They'll look for Owusu. He'll throw it to the side. And that's going to be to Sherman. And Sherman, who's got legs, gets it off him. The Patron. Now here comes Owusu on the edge. He'll throw it back. The only thing's missing is the Stanford band. Here we go. And Owusu has followed the Wake, and the game is over. My goodness.
Well, that's gut-wrenching for the Cardinal. You talk about a hard-fought game.
What a finish.
Covered by number 36, Petros.
Stanford tries everything to pull it out of the hat, and they cannot do it. Jim Hardbough comes across the field. Riley Skinner, central role with a go-ahead game-winning touchdown. His 7th fourth-quarter game-winning drive. And Mike Hogwood's down on the sideline, and he's got winning coach, Wake Forest, Jim Grobe.
Jim, you told us yesterday you really like this team. What a gutsy second half.
Well, you know, I can't talk about the things we discussed at halftime, but we wanted a better effort out of our guys in the second half, and we got it. We've really played 3 halves of football, not very good, and this second half is the way we want to see our kids play.
And you got to believe that this half is something you can build on for this season.
There's no question. We started out, Mike, with 2 really good football teams in Baylor and Stanford, and I was afraid we're so young and inexperienced we're going to end up with 2 losses against good teams, so it's a great win for us.
Riley Skinner, 7th time in his career, he's taken your team for a win in the 4th quarter on a key drive. What a show.
Well, I could tell, Mike, when we came out in the second half, this guy was on a mission. I've never seen him more focused. He was going to take this team to a win.
What was the big difference in this team in the second half?
Execution. We started playing better. We stood around in the first half like we hadn't been coached. I think our coaches did a nice job with the plan, but you got to give this one to the kids. They came out and played in the second half.
You've been doing it a long time. I know a game like this still gets you excited, doesn't it?
Not too bad. Not too
it's
bad.
great.
Thank you.
Jim, thank you. Steve, back upstairs to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mike, and thank you, Coach Grobe. There's Riley Skinner, the hero of the hour, and he was 13 of 17 in the second half, and that illustrates what Jim Grobe was talking about his quarterback and his resolve to come back and win this game.
Well, exactly what he told Hogg was that if I could just share with you what was said at halftime, what they needed was a cattle prod, and they needed to get it going, and they got it going. And, you know, it says a lot about what kids are capable of doing. But they were flatlining, and let's not take anything away from Stanford. Stanford played good football, but in the end, Wake Forest showed that they were able to gut it out. It's a huge win for them.
Found a way to win and found a way to avoid doing it in overtime. The final score, Wake Forest 24, Stanford 17. More from BB&T Field after this word from your local ACC station.